Welcome, everyone, to today's Friday's inspiration. We're not having any music today while we're waiting for a few more people to show up. I'd love to hear where you're calling in from. We've got a nice international audience, and so today we're kind of jumping right in because last week they wouldn't post our Friday's inspiration because of the music that we used, which is the same music we use every week. So, of course, there's other things going on. I'll let you guys guess. It's up to your own interpretation. At any rate, today we're going to be reviewing some of the stuff we talked about last week, some of the distractions that have been keeping us from being able to create. We're master creators, and many of you may not even realize how powerful you are. And so uh, we will talk a little bit first about some of the distractions that are keeping us from our radiance and our brilliance. Let me just pull up my notes here. So yes, last week we were talking about 7 things that are really big interferences, and I'm just going to go over a few of those first before we really get started. It's great to have so many people here. Let's see, what do we've got here? Well, we're still waiting for a few more people to show up. Let's see, we have Sicily. Welcome, Italy. Roma. We have France. We have Virginia Beach. We have New York. We have Florida. We have India. We have Denmark. We have Texas. Welcome, all of you guys. I'm so appreciative that you come here every week to what we're doing here is raising our frequency, raising our vibrational energies so that we can align to everything that we desire that already exists. My new favorite person to watch on YouTube has a new channel, and I'll just call him IP in case there's bots looking for keywords. Welcome, Long Beach. And so today, some of the distractions that are keeping us uh, from this, from our dreams and our desires, since listening to our galactic historian, I've been noticing a lot of things, a lot more things, since now I know that the true war is not so much the 1% or the reptilians and all that. It's really all about artificial intelligence, AI. And so that even made what I talked about last week even more pronounced. The fact that AI is everywhere on the internet. I would say between that and our phone are the two biggest distractions that keep us out of our core, keep us pulled out of our radiance, our brilliance, keep us in the energies of fear. And like on the internet, of course, we have all of the social media. So people get very distracted by what other people are doing. And then there are, um, especially with our phone. Last week, I was talking about the notifications that had come over our phone, and there was a rash of all these alarms. Now, I don't know if they were testing the EBS or the emergency broadcasting system for the disclosure that's going to be coming soon, or if it's probably twofold. There are also they're getting more and more brazen about interfering in just coming into our lives. Intruding is the word I'm looking for. And so now that they think that they can do this in our own best interest for our safety, all these alarms about earthquakes, about fires, about whatever danger might be lurking, whether it's going to affect us or not. And they can do these alarms and announcements throughout the night. And I think that this is probably one of the things that we'll be seeing more of. However, I know for myself, and I know a lot of you all as well, have turned all the sounds and alarms off of your phone so that can eliminate that distraction. But the another way these this AI is influencing us, and I've known this for years, although I never actually knew how, and I still don't really understand how, even though he's explained it, is through mind control. Now, they've been perfecting mind control since the 30s, 40s, and they're very good at it. In fact, the technology that they're using is hundreds of years ahead of the technology that we use. So it's no surprise that they can put thoughts and beliefs out into the ethers, and it affects how we think, what we believe. And of course, now all of you know that it's our thoughts that create our reality. So the more they can keep us in these energies that are not our thoughts, that are sort of that Debbie Downer, that Debbie Downer energy where, you know, everything looks bleak and everything looks horrible. And we wonder, where this is all headed. And, uh, when you look around and you see everybody struggling, you figure that that's just the way it is. And there's also another thing that he said that has really opened up my awareness. And that is he's I've heard him say about a third of the population or 40%. I know those are not the same, but I've heard him say both. That about a third of the population are not really human. They are androids, they're clones, they look very human, they act very human, and but they are not. And so I've noticed this. I noticed one person at the gym. I've kind of been noticing it already before I even heard this, but now it's just like, oh, okay. Now it makes sense why these people seem so robotic, so soulless, so without emotions, and just the automatons. Just the robots that are just following along. And what last week when I was at the gym, there's this big monitor that shows everybody's heart rate and so forth, and there's different colors. And so when you're in the gray and blue zone, you're barely working out or not hardly working out at all. So your heart rate is very, very low. And then it goes up into the green, orange, and then red. And so the goal is to try and stay in the orange and red, and that's how you get splat points. So I was preoccupied by this one person that just stayed in the gray, in bare. Once in a while would go into the blue, and then I finally figured out who it was. She happened to be right in front of me on a treadmill, and her uh, you could see her the color on her monitor. And so then I knew it was her, and so then I noticed that her treadmill was all the way as high as it would go, and she's just kind of bopping along, just all very casual, like it was not a big deal. For a whole hour, no matter what she was doing, into, she never got one splat point. And so I measured and realized that she was an android, and at the very, very end was maybe the last minute when you're supposed to go all out. And she, because she could tell I was a little preoccupied with her, it was so fascinating that she went much harder and got into the orange and red, but for less than a minute. And so, anyway, I was completely fascinated by that. So, you're going to be noticing them more and more places, maybe everywhere you go. I my guess is that all the traffic, why it's so bad now are all of these drones and clones and androids and non-humans who are just fillers. I call them fillers. So it's really fascinating. And so you have that segment of the population, and then there is a whole nother segment that's coming up. Another thing that he mentioned was that the effects of the decision people have made over the last 2 years, with the juicy poison, that is going to take effect in about I think he said 3 or 4 years, where then it would be able to interact, the nanotechnology, and that would be able to interact with AI, and then they would become soulless. I've already noticed this starting to happen with people that I know who have participated. And uh, so notice what you notice. And, um, I'm so glad you're here, because that means that you're part of this ascension, that we're either in one direction or the other. There's really no middle ground anymore. And so we're here to help you ascend and grow into these higher frequencies where all your dreams and desires already exist. And I had decided, well, last week, I wasn't sure if I was going to give any sort of what I was getting. I know our galactic historian has been saying, any day that this disclosure is going to be happening. So if you don't know what disclosure is, it is the revealing of all of the deepest and darkest secrets that have been kept from humanity, from the child trafficking, what the queen was really about, um, all kinds of heinous things that have been hidden from humanity. So, this historian has been sent to prepare us for the disclosure. And many of you are finding yourself being shocked even by what he's saying. And what he's saying is not even, full disclosure. So, it is fascinating, and it's really imperative that we get ready. And so, what does that mean? How do you get ready? So, he suggests, one of the things he suggests is meditation. Now, I've been saying for quite some time, hang on just a second, that not all meditations are created equal, right? There's a lot of you that are meditating and it feels great, but it's because you're leaving your body. So, this new, highly intelligent, new, advanced version of humans, the reason that they are going to be, or why they are so powerful, is they're integrating all of this higher technology, all of this, um, inbreeding is not the word, where all of these different races have hybrids, is what I'm thinking of. So, this hybrid technology, or these hybrid humans that are super advanced superhumans, that the reason that we become so superhuman is because we can access all of the information and knowledge through our akashic records, through our higher intelligence, which is available in our heart, while being in fully in our bodies. So before, we were accessing all this light, but we were light beings and we weren't in our bodies. And so now we're incorporating the two. We're being fully in our bodies and embracing and bringing in all of these light frequencies, activating our light body so that we can be completely present as light bodies in our human form. That is the most advanced hybrid human there is. And so this is why he talks about this what's happening on the planet is affecting not just Earth, not just our solar system, but our galaxy, the whole entire universe is being affected by this. So that's why everyone in the whole and all the universes are paying attention to what's going on here. This is massive. We've been waiting for this for a long time. And, take what works here and leave the rest. Maybe you're not ready for everything that we talk about here, and that's okay. But we are going to be explaining one of the tools that has been given to me to help us combat these darker influences that are, on their last ditch efforts to try and sway as many people into this AI directive as possible. And so, super important that we do meditate. I have a very specific process that I run you through every week here called running your energy. And it's designed to not only clear these lower vibrating energies, but it's also designed to elevate you into higher frequencies. And so that's what we're really looking for. So, one of the main tools that is used to combat these darker influences is the black flame. So when I first heard of the black flame, I thought, "Oh, I don't know if that's good. Black, is that like black magic or black is not good, right?" And the truth is that there is pure darkness and then there is dark darkness. Now, I know nothing about um, witchcraft or black magic, and I've never learned about magic. I've never learned about any witchcraft or any of that stuff. So everything that I know is just based on my own personal experience of working with energies at a psychic school. And so it was just a fascinating world of discovering how our energy field works, our invisible energy system. So this is has nothing to do with black magic or anything like that. It has to do with tapping into frequencies. So this black flame, which is pure darkness. Now, if you think of uh, the darkness that's below the surface of the earth, where that root system lives, this highly intelligent root system that communicates with each other so that there's communication around the globe. And also in this pure darkness is where everything decays to. Everything decays into this pure darkness, but then it rebirths and it emerges up. This is where everything grows from, this pure darkness. Pure darkness is also found in a mother's womb, where massive creation and transformation is happening, right? So when you think of pure darkness, think of these two kinds of pure dark energies that are highly transformative. So this is the energy of this black flame, and it's a very high frequency, so that it's not the same as these dark energies that are trying to attach to us. And so, what it does is it changes the frequency of where they're attached so that they can't attach anymore and they just dissolve, they just let go, basically. So, time that we would, some of the places that we use the black flame that it's highly effective for is dark people that cord to us. So in the past, we've been using a violet flame, but if someone is particularly dark, maybe they are of this um, and agenda that's moving in the path of this artificial intelligence, and or they're soulless. If they cord to us, we want to use a black flame to dissolve that attachment. We could also use the black flame for fear entities and control beings, two of the biggest energies that this AI, now I know it's AI, it's not just the 1% that they are using to further control humanity, keeping us in fear, keeping us in these mindsets that are not our truth. And it creates a lot of cognitive dissonance. It creates a lot of tiredness, foggy brain. Sometimes you just feel really tired, and you know that you got enough sleep, but it just doesn't feel like you got enough rest, right? So those are two areas. Also, sometimes discarnate beings are also very dark, and they've been showing up in droves, like 50, 100 at a time, because they want off the planet too. They're like, where's the bus? We want out. So those are some of the main areas. And then also spells and curses. So they've been really loading up spells and curses, so that, like when I remember one time when I was, uh, I was, I'm trying to think of the right word. Scammed, that's the word. I was scammed on the internet by someone that I thought was from Apple support. And the short story, the very short story, this was something that went on all day long and had me in this spell thinking that uh, the hackers were in my computer downloading child pornography and all kinds of things. And so we were on this mission to try and eradicate all of this. And it ended up costing me $7,000. And it was after I finally got off the phone, I was on the phone, if you can believe this, all day long. A few times we got disconnected, but then we reconnected. And then he told me how many hackers got in while we were disconnected. It was crazy. And at any rate, when I finally hung up the phone that night, and it was almost like the fog lifted. That was the spell that he had put me on. And we were supposed to connect the following morning, and he was going to get, anyway, I'm not even going to go into it. Anyway, this spell lifted, and I thought, wow, what just happened? I think there's something wrong. So I called Apple, and they confirmed that it was a scam. But it really made it so clear how this mind control and these spells can work, where they just take over your brain, your thinking. You can't think clearly. You're just stuck in this stuff. And so this black flame is really good for spells and curses as well. So today, as we're doing our process called running your energy, we're going to be, I want you to pay attention and notice how often we need to use a black flame. I'm curious if any of you have questions about what we've been talking about, or if you've noticed anything along the lines of what I've been mentioning. Let's see who else we have here. Linda from Florida. Let's see. I think you're talking about, yes, the book from Ismail. Yes, I have ordered his book. There are some people who they're not sending it. So he's getting kind of banned in different ways. He had lost his YouTube channel. He's got a new one now. And yes, so I was just recently introduced. Hey, Stephen, good to have you here. So, yes, has maybe anywhere from 3 or 4 interviews a day that he's posting on his channel. So, if you have a chance to listen to him, um, let's see. I will post recent his most recent channel here in the chat, and then you guys can also check it out, because I think it's really important to stay connected to what he's talking about. So hopefully, yes, there it is. Okay, good. So there is that. So let's see if you guys have any questions about what we've been talking about. Greetings, India. And maybe you're typing, doing some questions. So, yeah, big things changing. Okay, so one of the other things that I wanted to mention, I was last week I was contemplating, oh, I don't want to talk about dates and so forth, but I think I will, just because I know it was helpful for me. And this is what I'm getting. It doesn't make it uh, like a hard and fast truth. And also knowing that, like, I never predict, because I know there's so many moving parts that it can change, that the outcomes can change, and it can be different. So he's been saying that disclosure is, any day. And I've been noticing over the past week, it's been fluctuating between 1 and 3 days. Right now, I'm getting 2 days. So, when it's time, it's going to happen. That's going to happen. So there's just a matter of being prepared. Make sure you have, a couple weeks worth of food, or a month's worth of food on hand, plenty of water, batteries. Make sure your gas tank is full. Make sure your batteries, your all your devices are charged up. Maybe you have a battery pack. Those are just some practical ways on how to prepare. But it's really important that we practice what we're doing here, because if you're in fear, you're not going to be grounded. That creates a contraction that pulls up your grounding cord. And then that's when all the anxiety and stress and fear and anger, it all builds up. So, super important to practice what we do here every week. You can always listen to older videos because we've been doing this every week for, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, something like that. So there's plenty of topics that um, you can talk about, or you can listen to. So the other thing that he's been talking about is this solar flare, and he has been going sort of back and forth and everything in between any day now to sometime in 2024. And I've been getting around 10 months. To me, that makes sense that we would have disclosure, and then would have time to integrate the disclosure and really prepare our light bodies, prepare our energy fields, raising ourselves into these higher frequencies, fortifying and strengthening our physiology so that we can hold the light, making sure we're eating well so we can hold more of these light frequencies. So that'll give us, plenty of time. And really, there's no time to delay. Just start preparing. And of course, that can be a moving target. But that's what I'm getting now. To me, that kind of helped me calm down. Like, oh my God, So it's there's time to prepare, and all is well. So we've been given these tools, and so let's get started. Unless you guys have some questions, we're going to get started with uh, this process called running your energy. And no questions? Okay, good. Let's go. Let's get started. Let's raise these vibrations and frequencies, and we'll see how often and why we need to use this black flame. So, first of all, we're going to get ultra grounded. We're going to put down a grounding cord that goes from the base of our spine to the center of the planet, big and fat, like a big pipe, and just set it on release. There's no effort in this, it works just like gravity. And I also appreciate you sharing this with your friends and family, anybody that can benefit from this. Um, More people need to know about this so that we can all help each other rise up into these higher frequencies. So you've got good grounding, great. Now we're going to send those roots from the bottoms of our feet deep into the earth, intermingling with this pure darkness in the root system. You can imagine going down as far as maybe a redwood tree. That's probably the deepest roots on the planet, at least that I know of offhand. So send the roots down, way down deep, and then intermingle. It can wrap all the way around the entire planet. Now, even under the surface of the earth, the water, we have kelp that also have roots. Not very deep, but they do have roots as well. And so now we're going to start bringing up the energy of our abundant feminine earth energy and the energy of pure darkness up through the legs. So we're bringing that energy up through the feet and the ankles. Can have more fun. Also into the calves, clearing some of that unused adrenaline that's been collecting from all the stress that people are under. Through the knees, through the upper part of the thigh, and down that grounding. Great. And then we're going to see if you have a worry circle. Ideally, there is not one. That's great. No worry circle today. So it looks like the highest vibrational, all you star seeds are showing up now and here to do the work. So I'm so pleased about that. Let's make sure that the heart is grounded. So the heart is not grounded. You have a lot of big open hearts, but we need to make sure that this energy is grounded. The energy to ground the heart is not, we don't need to clear the heart believe it or not, we need to clear the root chakra that's not allowing us to ground our hearts. Okay, so in the root, out to that third layer. Okay, so this is the first place we're going to use a black flame for all the control beings that are in your root chakra. So use a black flame. And the importance of why they focus so much on the root is because it affects everything above it. It's such a foundational chakra. And so when you can disable that root, you disable everything. Okay, good. It's all right. So now the heart is grounded, just like that. Excellent. And so for women, we're going to rub our hands together and we're going to put a hand on each of the ovaries so we can ground our ovaries. And men, you're going to ground your testicles and your prostate. So you can imagine, as well as the women, that Y. So that from the ovaries down into the grounding, and from the prostate and testicles down into the grounding cord. Super important that these are grounded, so we can really be in the fullness of our masculine and feminine energies. All right, so now we're ultra grounded. Now we're going to start connecting with pure source energy way above our heads. For you, that might be God, it might be your higher power, it might be Holy Spirit, whatever that is for you. I call it pure source. We're going to start bringing that energy down through your creative rings, stacked above your head, as it's coming into the crown. So it's stopping right at the crown. The crown is where we give ourselves our personal permission. This is where we become sovereign. And so there's energies here that don't want us to be sovereign. They don't want us to be the boss of ourselves. So right at the crown, out to that third layer, it's the permission circle. There's more control beings. So we're going to use the black flame right at the crown. And if you want to imagine that there's a circle around your head and this black flame is in this circle, and it's just transmuting all the energy in your entire permission circle. There we go. Okay, great. So now let's see if we can bring pure source down through the crown. There it goes. 6th chakra. Down into the throat and into the heart where it's stopping again. It goes all the way out to the 50th layer. So that's front and back, the congestion. And in this heart, in the heart chakra, we're going to use a rainbow flame for the energies that sit in this 50th layer. These are what I call the watchers. And so trust that this rainbow flame in your heart has enough intelligence to know how far out to go out into the front and behind you to find this watcher energy. And it's going to transmute that because it's at a different frequency. Okay, great. So now as we're bringing pure source down through the heart, there it goes, into the solar plexus where it's stopping, out to the third layer. There's a lot of anger in here. So this anger, it's not yours, for one. It belongs to the control beings that are in here that are doing two things. They're holding down your power, your personal power, and then they're putting all this anger in here so that you start using anger as your fuel source. This is also their food. Like they feed off of these darker energies of anger, fear, worry, all of the anxiety. They love this stuff. This is what keeps them alive. So use a black flame right in that solar plexus. And we're going to transmute all of the fear entities in here. There's about 50. And so, really important, you can see while you guys are using this flame, um, this number of fear entities is what has taken over a lot of people. The other day, I was checking the Dalai Lama, which I knew had been taken over by about 50 fear entities. When I checked the other day, now 100. So they are targeting key people, and and including you. And that's why we're finding all these fear entities here. So this is your best friend now, the black flame, to transmute all of these energies. There we go. Hmm. So as we're bringing pure source down through the solar plexus, there we go. And notice if you feel any different. Can you breathe better? Maybe you can take a deep breath now and you couldn't before. Uh, maybe you're not feeling as tired. Just notice what you notice as we clear these energies. So now pure source is coming down through the solar plexus, down through the second chakra, spilling down the root. So now you're vertical. Breathe into this vertical alignment way up high to pure source, rooted deeply into our Mother Earth. Really let that anchor and settle in. Next, we're going to mix these two energies, the earth energy coming up through our legs with pure source coming down the backside. Where that meets at the root, we're going to mix it together. We're going to bring it up the front, this 50-50 mixture. So as it's coming up the front, real close to the spine, it's stopping right at that second chakra. This is where there's more anger and rage and more control beings. So this is also going to affect your creations. Your second chakra is what converts energy into physical things. So if you've been noticing, maybe you've been creating more things that you get angry about. It's not your anger, but all this anger is distorting your ability to create clearly and the way what you want to create, because it's contaminated with all of this fear that's not yours, all this anger that's not yours. So you've been using the black flame right in that second chakra. Great. Mm-hmm. Okay, we also need to use a rainbow flame in the second chakra, because there's the watchers are also in here. Koena mae tiena tupoye amaye kiena ka eaka mukutuye iyamapa kaya na ye tupoka aye. So the language of light is just another way of shifting frequencies. This is a gift that's been given to me about a year ago. Is it maybe 2 years by now? It was a year ago on my birthday. So this is my birthday month. Okay, maybe it's a year. I'm losing track of time. It's at least a year. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, good. So let's bring this 50-50 mixture up through the second and the third. So it's stopping right at that solar plexus. Let it stir in here. More control beings. So what's your favorite friend now? Your new tool? It's not new, but maybe it's new to you. Black flame. We're going to torch these guys. Okay, great. So let's see if we can bring that 50-50 mixture up through the solar plexus and up into the heart, where it's stopping again. Congestion goes all the way out to the 50th layer, where these watchers are interfering with our ability to self-generate love and our ability to access our infinite intelligence in our heart. So use a rainbow flame right in that heart chakra. Ia mapai tanakai como oi tumuyo oko. Hmm. Mhm. Okay, so as we're bringing this 50-50 mixture up through the heart, throat, six, crown, it's getting stuck at the crown again. More control beings. Use the black flame right at the top of the head there. Mhm. Mhm. Hmm. Okay, good. So as we're coming up through heart, throat, six, crown, there it goes, through all of your rings. Let it cascade down through all the layers of your aura. Mhm. Okay, great. Let's pay special attention to the third layer. We're going to start at the top. I'm going to clear out some of that effort out of this layer. Mhm. Okay, great. Then the 50th layer, let's start at the bottom. We're going to lift this energy out. Now, if you wanted to use a rainbow circle of flames around your root chakra and let those rainbow flames rise up through this layer, you could do that as well. Mhm. And then the 100th layer. This has a name to it now, that what's hanging out in this 100th layer, it was undecided for a while. Since listening to our galactic historian, I have the name that has come to me is the Dracos. So this is that influence that is controlling everything or trying to control everything, which has its roots in AI. All right, so just lifting that up. Could use a black flame in that circle if you wanted to do that as well. Okay, there we go. So now the aura is going off into infinity because we are all connected through our energetic fields, through our auras. Let's clear our circle of reciprocity. So going back to your heart chakra and bring that energy up to the clavicle and out that right shoulder. So there's a black flame right at the shoulder there, preventing you from giving of your gifts and your love and your support and everything that you have to give out into the world. Just use that black flame right there. Excellent. Okay, so now it's coming out that right arm. And then we're going to put the fingertips together so that we can allow ourselves to receive. So what's coming out of this right arm is our self-generated love. We bring that out the right arm and then we let it flow into the left hand through all of your fingers. And so right at that left hand, the energy is blocked with a control being. So use a black flame right in your palm. Mhm. Okay, great. So now let's see if we can bring the receiving. Another one at the wrist. Just use another black flame there. Okay, good. So coming up through, and then another one. So right about here. Um, just keep blasting them with these black flames. Super important tool. Okay, good. So coming up through the elbow, shoulder. Okay, there's another one right at your left shoulder. Use a black flame. Okay, great. So coming through the shoulder, down through the front and back of the heart. So there's your circle. And through the throat, and through that sixth chakra, through the rings, through all the layers of the aura. So we'll measure a few more things. So if you get a little lost in this process, or you want to be, or maybe you're more visual, I highly suggest getting my book on Amazon that explains this whole infinity system, the infinity scale, and also about avatars, how to use avatars. So it is on Amazon. Access Your Ultimate Power, the Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence. So that would be another great tool to have in your arsenal of your toolbox. And so let's measure a few more things, because we don't want to go into the weekend with any fear. It's at 15%, 1 5. It's at the root chakra. And so this is where it starts as a little seed. You don't even notice it. But this is where it builds from. It builds, it builds, it builds. And then the next thing you know, you're in the fear, you've lost your grounding cord. And then, it's really much more challenging to get back on track. So we're going to use, let's see. Yes, there's control being there. A black flame. 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. Yeah. So 15 more have come in. So you can use this tool throughout the day. If you ever think that maybe something's climbed in, or 10 or 15 or 50, use a black flame. It's so simple, just with your free imagination, right? Just put it at your root, put it at your crown, put it at your sixth chakra, put it at your heart, wherever you feel like it might be interfering. And okay, so fear is at 0. Let's also check anger, which is also at 15%. So we're going to go to the sixth chakra, out to that third layer. So this is the belief where you are using anger, like you need your anger to feel powerful. So that's an illusion that when you're in your anger, that you're in your power. So there is a time and place for anger. I'm not making anger wrong. It's just that too many people have used it, or are using it as their default energy. And so all this angry energy is just feeding the beast. Use anger when you need it. Like, pull it out of your toolbox and go, oh, I need anger right now to set a boundary, or to, make a point, or to, be safe somehow, or whatever. Use it when you need it, but we're not going to be holding this excess anger that's feeding the beast. Okay. So, in that sixth chakra, you've used that black flame to transmute that control being that's holding that belief in there. There you go. Mhm. So anger is now at 0. Let's check your spirit of adventure. So you can have a fun weekend. And I'll be very much in 3D this weekend. I'm doing a garage sale for my brother, whose wife passed away. And so we're helping him out, and he's downsizing, etc. Tons of stuff. If you're anywhere near Petaluma, California, DM me, private message me, and I'll send you the address. And there's so much stuff, and we need to get rid of it. So amazing. Lots of kitchen stuff, lots of clothes. And anyway, you could be helping my brother out immensely. Spirit of adventure. It's only at 15%. Oh my goodness, you guys are not going to be having much fun with that. Let's go to the sixth chakra. So there's a belief that you're powerless somehow to go have fun. You could go on an adventure just walking around your block if you're That could be adventurous. It doesn't have to be like a trip to Europe. I'm not talking about that. You could make it really simple and just start exploring. Start noticing people. That's always fun, people watching, especially now with all this new information. So let's go to the root chakra, third layer. Um, mm, so there's not our usual energies. So these are just, this is just your own energies that are keeping this spirit of adventure away. So let's just pull in the worry circle that has maybe some serious energy in here. That's not very fun. That's not adventurous. And if there's any residual fears, um, yeah, you could always look on a meetup group. Just go for a walk. It's so easy. Okay, let's see what we got now. Okay, great. It's at 100%. Good. So you can see how easy these things can shift and change just by creating more awareness. So I have an expanded awareness. I have access to all my tools and all of my energies. And so my radar screen is much bigger than most of yours. And so I'm just showing you the places where all this stuff is. And you too have this capacity to learn and know everything that I know. I'm just tapping into my greater human and maybe some of my alien ancestry and Palladian ancestry. So I am a first wave Palladian star seed that has come through Lumeria. I meant to start off today with that, but it has become such a habit that I have totally forgot. So, and a lot of you are star seeds, right? That's why you're here. So, tap into the spirit of adventure and let's see about there was a serious amusement. Amusement is always super helpful. That's at 100%. You have to be amused at what's going on. Otherwise, you will be like everybody else, depressed and down and bummed. And so we have so much to celebrate, really. We have so much to celebrate. Things have it's finally right around the corner. And I know it's so weird for me that I grew up with all these dates and times, and there's a part of me that's still trying to um, like really believe that this is true. It's like when it happens, then I'll know for sure. But I trust the numbers, and it's very close. All right. Why a black flame? It was just what was given to me as the tool to use for these energies. So you probably hopped on late. We explained that in the beginning, that the black flame has nothing to do with black magic. It's not about anything like that. It carries a very pure frequency. So this black flame is the same pure darkness that's below the surface of the earth, that's in a mother's womb. And so that's the pure darkness that we're tapping into, this highly transformative energy that's creating rebirth. And so that is what can transmute these even this dark energies. So it's a highly effective tool. Use it everywhere. And yes, and so one last thing I wanted to remind you, for those of you who have men friends and family, etc. The men's program is going to be starting October 4th. We're just tying up some loose ends on that. There is a Roma, if you could post that, where you can sign up to get the notification when it is available. So that is not to sign up on this list, is not signing up for anything more than to be notified. You're not signing up for the program or anything. It's just to be notified. But if you want to be notified, or your men friends want to be notified, or your family male friends, male family members want to be notified, then sign up or send the link to them and they can sign up. So we're going to be doing a 6-week program that was originally a 3-month program that we're condensing down into 6 weeks because everything is becoming so much more efficient and faster now. And so I'm really excited that Spirit has guided me for the first time to do a program that's dedicated just for men. All right. So look for that link and sign up for that to be notified when that's going to happen. October 4th is the starting date. Meeting once a week for 6 weeks. All right. Well, I hope all of you go off and enjoy and have a blessed weekend. And I'll be having fun at the garage sale. So DM me if you're anywhere near Petaluma, California, and I'll send you the address. All right. Sending so much love. Namaste. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.